So if you clicked on this video, I can only assume that you have either right now or at some point in your journey struggled with feeling really burned out on manifesting, or feeling like you're just done, like you're just gonna give up. It just feels like you can't put any more effort into it. And so today I am going to talk about that and what you can do to address this, because this is a real thing that affects like a lot of manifestors, and it is again one of those things that's not really super talked about in the online manifestation community. So today we're going to address it, because I do not want you to allow yourself to be sabotaged by this burnout thing. But first, I will introduce myself. My name is Genevieve. I'm a manifestation coach, and I am the kind of coach that really wants you to have big, internal, real, genuine shifts. I'm not the kind of coach that's going to make it really superficial and therefore seemingly easy to misunderstand. Although it's not that manifestation is not easy, because actually the more you are not efforting and the more you're just accepting that what you've decided is done, it is really freaking easy. But for a lot of people, especially you, if you resonate with this video or my style of coaching, you have found that often you kind of get in your own way. And when you're in your own way like that, the superficial explanations of this just really aren't so helpful anymore. So if my style of coaching resonates with you, if you want to talk to me more, there are lots of ways that you can work with me. There are 3 courses now available for you to do down in the description below. I'm really excited about all of them. All of them are different, are going to address different things in a different way. And the newest one is the Releasing Anxiety course. So if you've struggled with a lot of anxiety or anxious attachment, or just attachment in general that makes you feel that kind of fearful gripping at the 3D kind of thing, that's a really great course for you. But also the self-concept course is amazing. And then the master course in Manifesting Your SP is another good course. So if you want to go that route, the reason I suggest the course to you is because they're going to give you a lot of tools over a structured period of time to really help you to deepen. So a coaching call is also great, but we can only talk about so much in the amount of time we have together. So that's why I encourage the courses. But of course, you can book a call with me as well. There's a link for that as well if you want to talk to me about your life, about what you're going through, and I can give you some direct on the spot advice and answers. Like, that's a great time to do that, isn't it, call? So anyway, let's talk about burnout. So it's funny that I already kind of touched on manifestation being easy, because I remember a time in my journey when I was new and I was watching other people on YouTube talk about law of assumption in particular, and they would make it sound like, oh, it's so easy, you just affirm and it's like, boom, it's yours or whatever. And I started to feel like something must be wrong with me, because if everyone else on the internet seems to be able to just like affirm for a bit and then it's like, boom, their whole life changes, I feel crazy. And because I felt like, oh, okay, maybe I just need to affirm more. Maybe I just needed to do more, because I felt like something was wrong with me. I just thought like, I need to do more. I need to catch up. I need to like affirm even more, to impress my subconscious even more. And that obviously turned into me doing a lot of effort in trying to fix myself in order to fix reality. And that is really not how we manifest. The true easy part of manifesting is that you just make a decision and you stick to it. You've just decided, yep, I'm gonna have that, or yep, this is a true quality about me, or this is just my life. And then you don't betray yourself about that thing that you have chosen, because you're realizing, I'm the arbiter of my own experience. I'm the operant power of my own experience. So whatever I decide is true about me has to become true about me. If I really decide it's true about me, it just does exist. It just becomes even more and more of a fact the more that I don't betray myself and the more I stick to what I've decided is true about me. So that is technically the easy part, is just the making the decision part. But I think the part that becomes hard, or what people then start doing a lot of effort about, is the part where you don't betray yourself, the part where you think, oh, maybe it's not done, or maybe I have to do more work, or maybe this needs to happen, or whatever. Like the more you tell yourself in subtle ways or not so subtle ways that it's not done, that you need to do more, or that there's something still wrong with you, or something else, blah, blah, there's a million different things that you could do. The more you do that, obviously, you're not really in the state of consciousness that already has the thing you want. It's like, think of your manifestations like a garden, and maybe as you're starting, you're a brand new conscious manifestor, so you're just starting the conscious process of it, and so your garden is mostly just dirt to start with. It's just freshly tilled dirt, and you are planting your seeds, and these seeds are your new manifestations, the things that you want to bring into your life, the things that you want to really ground yourself in and claim and identify with. And so you're planting those seeds in there, and that's the easy part, where you're like, okay, I picked this seed, let's put it all in there. And then you're gonna do like some daily maintenance to water the seeds. You're gonna try to like make sure the garden is still healthy. You're watching for weeds that you want to pull out, and the weeds could obviously be things like your old stories or things like that. But when you get burned out, imagine it's like this. Imagine that you planted your seeds, and after you've planted and everything is great, instead of going off and enjoying the rest of your day, you just sit and you just like stare at the garden, and you're just like anxiously like, okay, like, is it good? Like, is it growing yet? And like every 30 minutes, you're like back at the garden being like, are the seeds still here? Are they growing? And then it's like, and it just causes you so much anxiety and so much insecurity, because you're constantly like checking the garden and like being like, is it doing what it's supposed to do? And are the seeds still safe in there? And checking so often, and then being disappointed when you look at the garden and it's like, oh my God, it's been 2 hours and nothing's growing yet, or even 2 weeks and nothing's growing yet. Like, the more that you are like too fixated on watching your garden, watching the seeds grow, which, as you know, it's like watching paint dry. Like, trying to watch a garden grow is like, it's gonna make you crazy. It's not very interesting. It's just not fun to just sit and try to like will plants to grow by like staring at them or whatever. So when you get burned out in manifesting, it's a really similar thing. Like what I just described doing to a garden, you're doing that to your manifestations, in which you're overly fixated on them. You're kind of always wondering like, well, is it working or is it not working? And am I doing enough or am I not doing enough? And oh my God, it's been a little bit of time and I don't know if I see anything. Like, are the things growing? Are the things happening? And so all of that noise is what's causing you to feel burned out, because that's an intolerable kind of state to be in, that kind of insecurity and anxiety and feeling like it's never really done and that you've got more to do. Like, all of that is like, it sucks. It's suffering to be in that kind of state. So that's what's causing you the burnout. It's not the manifestation practice itself, because like I said, the actual manifestation practice itself is supposed to be simple. It is supposed to complement your life, just like taking care of a garden throughout your day is also a complement to your life. You're not gonna sit there and obsess and fixate over the garden like your entire day to the point that you're like abandoning your actual life. You're just gonna check in, like in the morning, you're gonna water it, and then you're gonna go about your day and enjoy the present moment time of your day, knowing that your garden is doing just freaking amazing and it's just doing its thing, its magic thing in the ground, whatever it's got to do, and then you check on it in the evening. And so it's the same thing with your manifestation practice, where you can have a morning affirmation time or an evening time in which you do a visualization or a meditation. Like, you can have these times of your day that you're like doing your practice, but if your entire day is you ruminating about this stuff, you're not relating to manifestation in a healthy way. You're not relating in a way that's like easy, that's knowing that you are your God self, that this isn't like a difficult, a lot of effort kind of thing. If you're approaching this like you've got to do so much and you've got to like anxiously like make sure everything's going okay, it's just, you're not really relating to yourself as the operant power of your life. Like, you don't really trust yourself if that's how you are relating to your manifestation. So if you find yourself in this kind of a state that's causing you to feel burned out, this kind of state towards the way you're relating to manifestation, or maybe the way you're relating to one particular manifestation, because I know it's also common for people is they'll be this way about that one thing that they're totally obsessed with, whether that's the SP or money or whatever it is. And what sucks about being in this kind of state is not only does it obviously cause you suffering, it causes you to feel burned out. Burnout is your body's way, your intuitive, intelligent way of telling yourself, hey, you're doing something that's hurting me. Like, you're hurting yourself right now. Like, if you don't feel good in something that you're doing in your life, like if your feedback from yourself, from your body and from your brain and from your soul is telling you this hurts, like this doesn't feel good to be doing this the way that we are, trust that. Like, see that, like, that feeling of suffering, it's telling you you're going in the wrong direction with this. You are relating in the wrong way to this thing. You gotta bring yourself back to relating in a different way. So that leads me to my point here, that if you are in this kind of a manifestation burnout, or you're just in a lot of suffering about, like, just being anxious about all of this, I want you, instead of checking in with yourself of like, oh, well, I just gotta believe more, because also another thing, you do not need to perfectly believe in the manifestation. I think that's also a thing that I struggled with for a long time, is I used to think, oh, certain things aren't happening because I don't believe in them enough. I just need to work on my belief in them. And I realized that that was a fallacy, because a lot of things that came to me easily, things that I was consciously manifesting, I didn't necessarily have to try really hard to believe in them. I just sort of accepted, like, okay, I'm gonna manifest that. And I was accepting because I didn't feel dependent on the getting of it. Like, I obviously wanted it, but I was in that state of detachment that, of course, you hear us all talk about, that is like the state to be in, is a state of detachment from the creations that we're making, because we don't worship our creations, we worship ourselves, the creator, the creations, these millions of creations we've got going on all out here. They are not what we need to worship or fixate on or obsess over, because they are not the power. Like, we are the power. You are the power. So when you are beating yourself up in this way of like, oh, I just don't believe enough, all you're really doing is you're just being insecure about that manifestation. It's not that you need to believe more. It's that you just need to be more secure within yourself. It's not even being more secure about the manifestation. I want you to be more secure within yourself. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because what I have found to be kind of the remedy for burnout is not to try to force yourself even more to be like, okay, I've got to do even more. I've got to believe more. I got to be better, because as if you're doing it like at the manifestation. Like, if I just be better, then the manifestation will happen and then I'll feel better after it happens. Because that's also the fallacy, is that we think like, oh, if I just do more to make it happen, then I'll finally feel relief after it happens, because we think that it happens in the 3D. It doesn't happen in the 3D. It happens within you. You are the only reality that you're ever experiencing. This internal reality, whatever you're genuinely experiencing in this internal reality, that is your reality. Your reality isn't really out here. Out here is where the reflections are, which I'm sure you know at this point. So if you're looking out here like, oh, once this happens, then I'll feel better, that is completely not gonna work. And it's a complete fallacy. So when you're in burnout, instead turn towards yourself and ask yourself, how am I really treating myself right now? Am I in a state of self-abandonment over something? Am I worrying about something as if I'm not the operant power of my life? Am I worried about something as if there's some separate power that's working against me and I have to like anxiously fight against it? Because why am I putting all this like burnout effort on myself about this manifestation? So I want you to kind of ask yourself those kinds of things. Like, I got myself. I want you to come back into your true grounded self-concept of, I am the creator. I am the one who takes total care of myself. I trust myself. I hold myself. I love myself. I am the god or goddess that I just know that I am. Like, I want you to kind of get back in touch with like your foundation of who you are, that is independent from the manifestation. Because when, again, the more you're very reliant on, okay, I need this one thing, I'll never be happy without this one thing, so I gotta push and push and push and effort and effort and effort to try to manifest this thing, the more you do that, the more you're actually self-abandoning, because you're saying, I'm incomplete without this. And which is also not true, because this has always been, like, I'm saying this is your manifestation, this invisible thing I'm holding. This is a part of you. And the only reason you're not seeing the physical conditions around it that you want is because the current conditions are reflecting the chaotic, insecure, whatever you want to call it, conditions that are happening inside of you. And the more you are acting from that place of, or I should say that state of insecurity and chaos and like anxiously trying to regain control, the more you're going to see this keep mirroring. Yeah, you're out of control. Yeah, you're insecure. Yeah, you don't have me, even though you always, nothing is separate from you. You always have this. It's your relationship to this that is what you are seeing reflected most dominantly in the 3D world. So instead of continuing to berate yourself and tell yourself like, oh, you just don't believe enough, or you just need to start feeling better about this, or you need to fix your attitude about this, or you need to do more, you need to do more affirmations, or do better affirmations, or just find the secret sauce right affirmation. All of that is just your old state, the state of insecurity, trying to distract you from actually just loving yourself. Like just accepting that right now in this moment, you are God and you've already got it. All of that noise is just distraction trying to keep you in the old state of insecurity. So whenever those kinds of thoughts or questions come up, know that they are just old projections. They're just old pieces of consciousness trying to pull you back into the old story. Because manifesting is easy. And I know it's funny, I'm making a full circle thing. Like now that I have come as far as I have, the people that kind of explain manifestation in a very, very simple, almost superficial way, they're not actually wrong. It's just that when you only get the superficial version of it and you are internally experiencing a lot of chaos and you think it really is about just do the simple thing, just do this and then it happens, but it's not really addressing like all of this within you, then it can seem like it's not simple. But the full circle realization is that it really is simple and easy, but you are relating to it, or you're trying to relate to it from the part of you that just refuses to have it, that kind of wants to be insecure. Like this is also the fascinating things about the different states of being that we can enter. Like when you're in a state of insecurity or victimhood or whatever the heck you want to call it, that state wants to be that state. Like so that's why it will tell you things to make you think it's on your side and try to hijack the manifestation process, because it's like that state wants to keep going. It wants to manifest itself. That version of you wants to keep itself manifested. So that's why it's very good to be very self-aware of who you're really being and where are these different thoughts and questions coming from. Like especially these assumptions that you need to do more, or that you're not doing enough, or that you don't believe enough or whatever. Where are those assumptions coming from? Because they're definitely not coming from the version of you that has it. The version of you that easily accepts that you've already made that decision. You've already decided on that outcome, and you've decided on that version of you. And all you need to do is simply take care of yourself around it. That version of you is never going to tell you that like, oh, you don't believe enough or whatever. So anyway, I hope that this video made sense today and was helpful. And again, just go back into your self-concept, like get really honest with yourself and ask yourself, how am I really relating to myself right now? Really take your focus off of for just this moment or for the day, even depending on how burned out you are. It could be a week to take a break or whatever. But really take a moment to simply ask yourself, like, what is my real self-concept relationship with myself? Because I keep relating to this manifestation as if it's not done, as if I'm broken around it or something, or as if like I need to do something better to get it or something. And that is causing me to feel burned out. It's not the self-concept I want to have. So ask yourself, how can I support myself to know that right now I totally approve of myself fully. I totally accept myself fully. I am everything that I want to be right now, just as I am. I don't need to be different. I can just be exactly who I am right now and know that that is enough. So that is what I have for you today. My phone is ringing. I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. But this is the end. Let me know your thoughts and questions. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. All right, bye.